Hello everybody, it's Thorgal here, and welcome back to Avant 3 here on the ftog'ians server. Last time, we set up our awesome quintuple processing via mechanism, and since then, I've had huge problems with recording. Okay, it was two things. Number one, Windows 10 did an update that changed all my sound settings, everything. It didn't even recognize my sound card or any of my microphone and speakers, nothing. It was like I was completely soundless. It was weird. It even forgot all the codecs I had set up in my editing software and also OBS, and it was a nightmare, guys. It's like I had to start fresh, right? Well, then I finally had all this figured out again, and then my new microphone gave out. I did an entire episode on here, and it sounded horrible. There was a constant background noise, like a hissing, like something in the line, right? I changed all the cables, everything. It was bananas, okay? I could not get rid of it, so I actually got the return labels next to me here. I'm gonna send it back. And I am on my old microphone, the Blue Yeti, which of course, it served me well, and I guess it's gonna serve me again, because I never had any problems with that mic, besides it's a little bit low. Which brought me to the next one. I did recording, and I had too much gain on the microphone, and it sounded terrible. So, it's just been a nightmare, guys, but I did not build anything that I recorded, okay? Everything you see here already changed before I started recording a couple days ago. And the signs and so on I set up. That's the only thing I did. So anyways, I hope the sound sounds good. And I might find a new microphone or something if this one doesn't work. Otherwise, I'm just going to stick with this. So, let's get going here. Mechanism 9 quintuple processing. It was a big mess over here, guy. And thank you very much for all the comments and ideas you guys gave me in the last video. And a lot of you thought that it would be cool to compact it more, like pack it into a 5x3 or something like that. Guys, I don't want to compact it. I don't have the need. I always thought that, you know, it's fun and nice when somebody tries to get to the limits of compacting something. Of course, it takes, you know, you got to think about it, you got to play around with it. It's a challenge, but Minecraft is almost infinite in size, okay? There is a limit, but we're never going to reach that. It's billions of blocks out there. I never understood why people, you know, try to make things so compact. Like, you know, you see a lot of Minecraft vanilla videos. 2x3 cow farm. Like, why? What's the point of it? I never understood it. Like I said, I can see that people like the challenge and so on. But we have so much room here that I don't see the reason to compact it, guys. But I listened to you, and a bunch of you guys said, run the pipes underground. We don't need to see them, and that's what I did. You guys remember there was a lot more over here, and then we had these long pipes come over here to this area, and I ran all the pipes underground now, and I'll show you that in our sub-basement there. And I did not decorate it yet. I still gotta do that, but I wanted to leave it open first so you guys can see all the pipes. And you guys can see I labeled everything with the extra utility screens. I now have 164 grid power because I ran out, I couldn't fly. And so I said, you know what, I really like these screens and what you can do with them. And I used a lot of them on the inside here also. I'll reveal that in a second. So I just placed a bunch of, I guess we can go down right here and then I'll show also the piping. I placed a bunch of the lava generators. I think I placed 48 of them, and I just filled the thing in the middle up with lava. So this is all added now. So now we have GP production here. Over at the agricultural expansion, our farms, the old fire generators, I think they're called. And then I also have at spawn underneath my shop, I have a few more of those. Yeah, because I had the signs over there, and I wanted to make sure that those are loaded, even if I'm not online. That was before we had the chunk loaders, where we only had the extra utilities ones, so they didn't kick in, so people didn't see the sign. Anyway, so check it out. Down here, you guys see all the piping. Is this thing still not? No, it is full now. Okay, there we go. I explained to you how I solved a little bit of a power issue here in a minute. So these are the pipes underground. This is as organized and clean as I could make it. All right, you guys see, I tried to make it as easily to follow. So I know like this is oxygen, I know this is hydrogen chloride, all these other ones are power. This is sulfur trioxide. I can see that this is the sulfuric acid. And then, of course, this is also hydrogen chloride, which comes all the way from over there, and also the oxygen, because those two we need up there at those processing machines. I'll show you in a second. And I also have an item conduit that we're going to use today. That's what we're going to set up. Let me just close this hole again. And let me know how you guys like these signs. I think it makes it very easy to follow the process, right? You guys see the arrow coming in, and then a negative arrow pointing outwards. And I kind of took the colors of what the fluid or the gas looks like. So everything starts with brine, which we split into chlorine and sodium. And the sodium I set to dumping excess. So because we don't need it. There's no use for us to have it. And then over here, I doubled this. Okay, I only have one sign, but they both do the same. We make the hydrogen and we make the oxygen. And the reason was I only had the oxygen tank here first. And then, of course, I had to set both of them to dumping excess. Because you guys were so nice and explained to me, why do I get more hydrogen than oxygen? Because it's H2O. So 2H and 1 O. Which totally makes sense. Thanks, guys. But the problem was, as soon as I needed some hydrogen, it would have stopped if I did not set the oxygen to dumping, okay? Don't forget that if these fill up. So now, for example, I cannot make any more hydrogen if I didn't have oxygen, which I am dumping because I'm only taking... Okay, I should probably look at the machines from this way because this is the front, and turn off my magnet so I don't get any more ink sacs. Okay, so this one right here, I'm only using to make hydrogen. I'm dumping all the oxygen. And this one, I'm only using the oxygen, and I'm dumping all the hydrogen. Reason being is that if I had this set to dumping on both sides, the excess right here, this machine never stopped because it just kept producing, right? And the problem is that this thing here, when it runs, I'll show you real quick. Let me dump some of this. Dumping. Are you ever gonna dump? Or am I making this so fast that... There we go. And alright, and idle. Now check it out. This thing needs 5,120 RF a tick. If that constantly runs, my energy cube on the bottom did not fill because these guys right here, if you check it out, that's how I get my power. They only have, right now, because I have 10 down, I have 10 million storage, but you only can get 5,000 RF a tick out of them. Okay, so that was my bottleneck. But I solved that by adding a second one. So now only when I actually need something is the power kicking in. And that's what I have that elite energy cell down there as a backup. Now, you guys saw I upgraded all of these machines with 8 speed and 8 energy. Everything in this mechanism area. Okay, inside and out here. And then I found out there is a few machines that you can upgrade when they're using a gas. There's 4 altogether. This one, you see how that uses a gas to produce. Not if it actually uses gas to produce other gases or mixing gases. You can do it only when it uses it. You can add a gas upgrade, which now gives us an efficiency of 10 times. So instead of, however much hydrogen chloride it needed, I only need 1/10 of it now to make 1 sulfur out of the gunpowder. That is a huge upgrade, guys. If you don't want to upgrade the other ones, I definitely recommend in those 4 machines using the gas. That is a huge, huge gas saver. Kind of funny. Okay, so then we mix those two together into hydrogen chloride. It's too long, so I took the chemical short version HCI. That goes right here. And again, this is not set to dumping or this or that, or the ones on the outside. So these machines don't do anything right now because I'm not producing anything or processing anything. Over here, we kept the same gunpowder with hydrogen chloride to make sulfur. And then here we use the sulfur, and together it makes the sulfur dioxide, which together with the oxygen in this machine here, we make the sulfur trioxide, which goes in here and comes up and over this way. And then we make water vapor out of water in this machine right here, deconcentrating, and use that together, the water vapor and the sulfur trioxide, to make the sulfuric acid, which goes underground to this tank right here. I decided to move this one on the inside so I can just check, because I'm going to close this wall here very soon once I have this decorated. And now check it out, all the things I did over here. Look at all the labeling. I did all of this because I like it. I think it's really cool to see the process. Anyway, you guys remember we take the sulfuric acid, and this is where the ore is going to come in. I had NIO conduits up here with a bunch of crates, because I processed all the ore we had, just to have a fresh start for today, okay? Everything is gone, and I have lots of stuff. If you guys check here, 1,800 aluminum, let's see here, almost 900 blocks of iron, and you guys, 1,765 diamonds. I still have 460, but I have used so many of the emeralds over the course of this series for all the drawer upgrades. It's bananas. But anyways, then we make the clean ore slurry with water, then crystals, then we add, again, hydrogen chloride. And you see these three machines right here. This one, it uses a gas to do something. You can add the gas upgrade, and the same in this one and this one. So there's 4 machines in the other ones you can't put any because they don't use any. Then shards with hydrogen chloride makes clumps. No, crystals with hydrogen chloride makes shards. That with oxygen makes us the clumps. Then we make the dirty dust, and the ingots out of it. And then there's one change from the last time setup. I changed right here, the thingamajiggy, the remote storage. You see all these ID 15, that was my remote storage. And here's the card for it. I've completely took it down. Reason being is that, maybe I can show you. No, I can't. But you guys remember that when we have this thing open, a lot of times it flickers. Yeah. Because their server's a little slow, or whatever happens, okay? And the problem was that when I had this set up right here, instead of a regular ender chest, or I shouldn't say regular ender storage, ender chest, whenever that flickered, this pipe disconnected, because this did not count as an inventory, okay? So that did not cause me any problems, but just thinking ahead, these guys don't disconnect, and you guys are going to see an item here in just a second. Come on, don't make a lie out of me. There we go. And that is from the resource miner over there underground. You guys remember that. So I have one here, I have one down there, and of course, up top, I also changed it out right here. So this is now my main storage input. And in here, I only have the 2 cards from this tablet here. That's my project thing. And this is my regular tool belt. So wait, don't need it right now, and don't need you either. Good. All right, so now, then I spent some time, and I took and made a golden chest down here with all the different items that we had in that chest. I took one of each, just so I can remember what it is, and then I went through every one of them and checked the best way to process them. Now, these up here are for the quintuple ore processing. These right here I can process 5 times, okay? And that is iron, gold, copper, tin, silver, and lead. Now, the next 4 here are what we're throwing in the immersive engineering crusher, just because it works out nice. We get 2 diamonds, 2 emeralds, and also 2 black quartz. And there's something very interesting, because that is the only way to get 2 quartz. If you smelt it, you get 1, and usually that crusher, we get 2. But other things like the Actually Additions crusher, we get 2 crushed black quartz, which we then would have to smelt again, so an extra step. And that is it. The same here, alchemy table, which I would never process my ore with. And the ore crusher, which would triple it. There's a couple other things that would be nice to use. I don't want to set up in Tinker's Construct, because there's a lot of problems with the Tinker.io mod of making corrupted chunks that I need to fix all the time on this server and also the Patreon server. So I said I don't want to use the fuel input. And that's why we're going with the immersive engineering crusher for these 4 right there. I could also process this in the, I think, enrichment chamber. It would give me 2. Squeezer gives you 2 enrichment chamber. But I decided, hey, let's just dump this into the crusher because I wanted it for the black quartz anyway. Good. Now, the next ones are a little bit odd right here. Bauxite and nickel. I am putting them only in an enrichment chamber because it doubles them, and then I smelt them directly to get the ingots. The zinc we can only smelt besides in the right here in the ore crusher again, but there's nothing else. You cannot pulver, you cannot double it. Well, I guess you could in the arc furnace, but I am not setting up an arc furnace. I went over that last time, why I don't think it is a good machine to use. Anyways, so the zinc gets smelted directly. I don't have any need for it, but let's just smelt it. So if I ever need a little bit, it's there. These two right here are best processed in a sag mill. We get 12 apatite. I think otherwise the max we get is 6. Oh no. No, we don't. Then the coal is we get nice items from, we get 4 in a squeezer, 2 enrichment chamber only. In a sag mill, we get 3 coal, but we also have a chance of getting coal powder, which you get very often, and even a chance to get a diamond. While in the crusher, we just get coal. So I said we'll toss that in the sag mill because I wanted it for the apatite anyway. And then these 4 right here, I'm only processing in an enrichment chamber because we get a gazillion of them. Here, 12 redstone, 12 lapis, and I think the nether quartz is 6. Yes. So that's a lot. You can't even get this with Fortune 3. Okay. Now, yellowite I'm also processing in there because we just get 2. Now, some people might say, hey, you should probably use the sag mill. And yeah, we could. But you only have a 5% chance to get a cyanide. And if I ever really need cyanide, I'm going to set up a big reactor and just burn yellorium to get this more efficient, I think. Okay. And these 7 biomes are plenty. The 2 tinkers, the dimensional shards, resonating ore, glowstone, of course, and the 2 can process anyway. I am just putting in the storage. I am not processing those. I don't have any use for any of this biomes of plenty stuff. If we ever want them as decorative blocks or something, then I'm just going to process a bunch of them. I think you can only double them. Yeah, that's it. Okay, it's not worth it. Oh, I left my Discord on and it's quiet now. One more note I wanted to give. Uranium right here in the crusher will actually make you yellowite. Okay? Is that what it's called? No, yellorium, sorry. But it does not show you that in any eye, which is kind of weird. It just shows you in the crusher you get uranium grit and lead grit, but you actually don't. I only had 54 of them ores, okay? And when you check how much I have now, I have 1002 yellorium dust. And that is because of all the uranium I processed. I have no use for uranium. I don't think there's any use for uranium in immersive engineering. So, that's a lot of talking, guys. But now we get started with something new. You guys see here, I replaced this with a 100 stack because there's never anything going to be in here once we get going now, okay? And I did turn it on again. I did not have anything over on here for a couple days because I wanted to process everything upstairs to get rid of it. And then I decided, you know what, it'd be nice to have something in here to be able to see if it actually works. And before we do that, I wanted to show you guys something here. With all these upgrades, I'm going to put 1 iron ore in here. And come over here real fast. Check this. Let's count the seconds. Like 3, 5. There's the first one already. 2, 3, 4, and little 5. Done. So I'm going to say this was less than 10 seconds. Okay? To process 1 ore. That's how fast this is now. And when we put the whole thing in there, you guys are going to see. This is the bottleneck right here. Okay? This crystallizer. I can't make it any faster. This is now full. And this one is backing up. And then this one is gonna back up here any second. Should? No? There we go. So that's the bottleneck right there. But again, when this is caught up, everything, we're only gonna get an ore every, whatever, 15, 20 seconds. And not all of them are gonna get quintuple. Only 6 of them. The rest are gonna go down here. And this is those machines I was just explaining to you. This is for the apatite and coal. I made an octadic upgrade. This one right here is lapis, redstone, yellowite, and nether quartz. And it directly outputs into the storage over here, okay? Because it's sitting right next to it. And then I set up another one to crush or process the bauxite and nickel, which pushes it automatically over into the smelting factory. And zinc will come in directly to the smelting factory. And in the back, I'm pulling all those out. And they're going straight into this ender chest to go back into the storage. Okay, so now that I really showed you everything, it's time that we set this up. And I colored the item conduits, or basic logistical transporter already, okay? So when we take this and right-click it, you see this color right here is indigo. Now, in case you don't know how to do that, is you change to Sorry, we gotta go back to items. And shift right click, you guys see, you can switch these colors. And because they're different colors next to each other, they're gonna disconnect, and I can actually set this up as our destination. So this is back to indigo. I don't know what indigo actually is, but this light blue here looks the closest to what it shows me in chat, so that's what I chose. And the other ones in the back here are, you guys see, black, bright green, yellow, and red. And then, like I said, this is indigo. And then over here to the quintuple, this one is dark blue. And up here I used purple. Okay? So all those are set up, and now this we're gonna do in the end. And now I think I'm ready, yes. I did want to start using a new mod, guys. That's why you guys see a lot of stuff in this project back. And that is RF2's control. I'm pretty sure I'm either gonna make a mod spotlight on how to use this, or I'm going to incorporate it somewhere else in my Let's Play series. But for this item sorting, I was not able to make it work. It just doesn't have the capabilities yet. It's a very, very cool mod. But it is doesn't have the functionality of something like Steve's Factory Manager used to have. And you're also limited to a 17 by 17, a 17 radius. So if you process this right there, you can only have a 17 radius around it, which is plenty. I'm fine with that. And I could have made that work. But unfortunately, I cannot do it that way. So I decided we're going to stick with mechanism. And I'm going to make use of these logical sorters. I've not used them much in the past, but they're pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up. Let's get these first 6 out. That's why I also kept one of each. And it's going to pump directly out of there. Right now I have auto checked on, which is fine because, actually let me turn it off for a second. I want to make sure it does not work. And this down here already set up. Okay, by default, there's none, like this, and this is off. Now it's default, okay? All right, so let's talk about how this is going to work. It's going to take an ore, and then it's going to color it and send it along the pipe here, which goes up. And then depending on what color, it will go into either up there or these 5 inputs over here. But if I don't have something, I want to send it to my storage, it is this color right here, the indigo, right? So the default color of anything that is not designated, I want to be indigo, okay? I hope that makes sense. So anything I don't specifically set up here is gonna come out with indigo and go directly to our storage. So now we're gonna set up a filters. I could do OR dictionary and look everything up, but I have one of each, and that is why I'm gonna do item stack. So let's start with iron. And you guys can see here, status all okay, min, max, 0. What are you? What is this? S for stack, maybe? I'm just gonna leave it off. And then down here, we want to find out what color we're gonna use. And sorry, I gotta get my little sticky note here so I don't need to run upstairs. This is dark blue. This goes to the quintuple ore processing. So right there and save. So now you see iron ore will be pulled out this dark blue and sent into the pipe. And now I'm gonna need to set up the same thing for the other ones here. For gold, I don't know how much I'm gonna show you of this, but it's actually quite fast if you guys see that. The next one I want to keep this in order the way I have it in the chest. Oops, this goes up there, but it's also dark blue, new filter, item stack, and then tin. Dark blue, new filter, and then I go with lead. And the last one with silver, dark blue. Okay, so now we have these right there. And I guess you could move them up. You could probably have them in there twice, and whichever it finds first, that's the color it's going to give it. So, if I would connect this now, it would take all those 6, so this iron, this gold, and the other ones, and mark them as blue and send them off. But all the other ones are not defined. It will color them all indigo and send them directly into our storage system. So now it's up to me to actually set all of these up here. So let's go with these 4 next. Should have probably pulled them out nicer because these go to the crusher, which is purple. Okay, I'm gonna show you one more, and then I'm gonna set up the other ones here real quick off camera because it's always the same. So black quartz is gonna be purple. Diamond is going to be... I think this is actually a really cool way of setting up your sorting, guys, because if you think about like Ender IO, I have all three. Yes, one more. You know, you would have a bunch of filters and so on, but this one right here is pretty much endless extendable. Right? I really like that. Of course, well, once you run out of colors, I guess, you could subnet it. You could have like everything purple be in a chest, and then from that chest set up another one of these with 2 more colors or whatever in case you ever run out of room on the colors, but it's not, we have enough for this project for sure. So that is it, okay? And I'm gonna set up these 2, this, and the other ones real quick, and then show you what it looks like, and then we'll connect it and see if everything goes to the right place. Alright, everything is done and set up. I'm just gonna go through the list here. All the dark blue goes to the quintuple ore processing. The purple ones go to the crusher. The yellow ones go to the extra enrichment chamber, which then goes into the furnace or smelter. Bright green, that's the zinc. That goes directly to the furnace. Everything black goes to the sag mill. And everything red goes to the other enrichment chamber that goes directly into the storage. We're not processing this any further. And everything else, so all these 13 down here, I did not assign, and that is because we have the default right here, indigo. So if it's not any of these, it will get indigo color. So I know it's gonna go to our storage system. So the only problem I see right now, and I don't know how smart this mechanism pipe is, okay, is that when we fill this up with iron, and it's sending the gold, and there is no room anymore because it can't accept anymore. Or over here, if this is full with lapis, for example, and I'm sending redstone, what's gonna happen right now? Later on, guys, when this is empty down there, we will never run into a problem again. Knock on wood. I knocked. Because we're only gonna get 1 ore every few seconds. So this whole system here is total overkill, honestly. But it was fun setting up. So now when I connect this pipe, nothing should happen yet because... Oh, okay, maybe it is. I don't need to set this to auto eject. Wow, everything is coming at once. That is so cool. Wait, what? Okay, we're gonna have to go upstairs now and wait for this to come up here and see where it all goes. It's coming along here. When I when I elevator up here, I'm actually going to over there. So now it is coming up. So it did not send the gold, guys. This is smart enough, but it did send redstone. It sent those 4. So the iron should go... The iron already went in. This stuff is getting spit out into the crusher. Or it did only... Aha! See? Because this is set up to auto-sort. The rest of this, the nether quartz didn't have any more room. So now apparently it's sending it back. And now you see this here. This is black quartz that comes out from here again. And I set this guy up here again, default indigo. Anything that comes out from here, I could not hook it up directly, by the way. I needed the storage. Comes out again as indigo because everything that comes out of the crusher, I want to go back into the storage system. And check it out. I'm still running at 50 FPS. 45 is the lowest I dip, apparently. Which is really good. For all these moving entities and so on. I'm really happy. I like how this looks. I don't know if I'm actually gonna cover this pipe up here. I do kind of want to see the items come through. But I am gonna cover up the bottom, of course. Make it look like a machine room. I have some really good ideas for that. And when this episode comes out, which is tomorrow around 2 PM my time right now, so from whatever time this video comes out in your time zone, 5 hours after that, that's 7 PM my time, I'm gonna start a live stream where I would really like to get together with everybody that watches my streams and dress this up and also do a lot of landscaping outside and around and just dress up the whole area a little bit nicer. I think I see this, by the way, all this is already gone. It's The appetite takes a little while because it has so many, and the problem is that this right here only spits out one at a time. While these machines here, they spit out super fast into the mechanism pipes. Should see something. You see that? Boom, boom, boom. Look at all these ingots coming out. That is all the zinc. But the Ender IO machine can only push out one item at a time. But again, it doesn't bother me because we're only gonna get one ore at a time. So let's see what we have left downstairs. It seems to be working okay. So my question is, this is indigo. Both of these cobalt and ardite are still here. This and that. And let's count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These should go directly in the storage. So maybe I need to set this guy to auto eject on. Yes, that was it. So apparently that auto eject governs that if there is something specifically set up, it will pull that out and send it to where there's a destination. And the default will only get assigned or pulled out when you set the auto eject on. So that is really cool to know. I should never need it on this one. I have it set to auto eject. Okay. So that meaning if I turn this off, we should only get items in here. They should never come out because nothing is specifically assigned to that. Alright, the coal should keep going. Alright, this is all the stuff. Oh. I saw some ore go in here. Ah. I think I know what the problem is. Okay. I think I know what the problem is. So I'm probably gonna have auto eject off. You just saw one going up here. That was just mined up. That was fresh. Okay, but I think I know what the problem is. Let me double check here. When I now go into ore, there's a bunch of ore sitting in here. Coal. This should not have been sent here. The same with the copper ore. And I know what the problem is for that. Okay, I'll bring all those back down in just a second. But the reason is, okay, here's how I see it. You guys saw when we did not have the auto eject on, it was smart enough that when the machine is full, it didn't send the next item. Like over here, we're probably working on gold already. Okay, but if another iron would be there now, it would not send it because this one says, hey, I cannot accept anything. I'm still working on gold. Once the gold is empty, then it would send the iron. But because we said auto eject on, and this is full, it will default anything that it cannot put into a machine to indigo. And that is why now we have coal and copper and so on in our storage system that should have not gone there. So what that means is that now I do need to set these up. Let me just grab them real quick. And you need to change this one here. Let me just switch this to wrench. And break this pipe. So until we're done, I don't want it to do anything else. And I need to change this here to nothing. None. Default, no color. And I do need to set a filter for all the indigo colors. Let's see here. Backwards 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Left click is forward, right click is backwards, by the way. So I do need to set these up. I thought I did not, but it's fine. 7. Let me go ahead and add all of these to indigo real quick. Alright, I think I got all the ore that we need to process out of here. So everything in here now that shows up as ore is supposed to be directly in there. And I did not... What? Now I'm gaining uranium grit. I don't understand anymore. What is happening? Uranium. Only have 3. Where are... Oh, you know what? That is probably what's happening. I'm gonna have to try that out real quick. It actually doesn't make yellow, right? Or yeah. It's probably or dictionaryable or whatever. Yeah, you see that? It counts it as that, so it automatically puts it into that drawer. That is so. JEI is actually NEI. What are we having? We have JEI. NEI? I don't remember. I think we have JEI. Yeah. Anyways, just it shows the right one, but the storage drawer combines it. Okay, so that's what's happening. So this guy right here, we're gonna set up default ingot that stays the same. All these I want to go. I don't need to assign anything here. But of course I didn't show you even. So down here now, indigo, you guys see I assigned them all up. All of them. All the ones that were left over. And I can put all of this in here now. I'm not kidding, guys. I don't know, this episode, I've never had this many problems. For some reason, after this cut just now, my sound stopped. I had picture and stuff. But all we did is I showed you down here that I added the indigo stuff. And then we put in all the ore that I had in the storage system. Oh ha. Lead and silver. Oh, those are still sitting in here, of course, because it is currently working on tin. So once the tin is empty, then it's going to bring in the rest of the lead and the silver. And over here, guys, check it out. You see, it looks like there's a pipe missing now. I've been playing around with these hole covers. And check it out. When you put this in here, it looks like it's disconnected, right? Nothing is coming. There is something coming. No, it went backwards. But when you look from down here, it is actually connected. Okay? So you see the items coming, and we're gonna see them go through in just a second. Without a problem. This is just a display glitch from the top down. It bugs me, of course. And on top of that, that when I've removed the cover in that spot, it also breaks the pipe now. For some reason. It never used to do that. Let's see here. You see? The items coming through. But it... Like, when I get rid of this here, in a couple of seconds, this pipe will pop out. You see? It just did it. So that's a little bit of a bummer. So I cannot cover these holes for the time being. I also tried wool out. It doesn't work. And down here, just so you see, I put a glass cover right there. Because this technically has an inventory. And I don't want to risk, any item ever going in there. And then I don't know where it went. But the storage system now works. All the indigo items are going. And you guys see the other items that the machine is full are waiting down here. Until the machine has room. And then next it's going to be that the lead comes up to the quintuple processing. And I also wanted to show you here in the end. See, sulfuric acid is keeping up. Let's go out here real quick. Check all these gases. Sulfur trioxide is full. This is full. This machine is full. Let's check over here. Hydrogen chloride can keep up. Alright, it looks like chlorine we are not making fast enough. What? This is the basic mechanical pipe. Okay, that's good to know. Mechanical? We have the bigger ones. We're gonna replace this right now. This is the big one. 3. Let's go ahead and change this to wrench. Alright, so I'm just gonna have to pump more brine in there. And set this back to, it doesn't matter, fluids. Pull. Really? Your pump 4 buckets a second. Wow, look at this. Holy shnikes. Okay, so maybe it just took a second. But now the brine stays full, which means that possibly the chlorine, it's gonna go up, okay? Over here, we can keep up with the hydrogen, and we can keep up with the oxygen. So now we're keeping up with all the gases. Now the only other bottleneck, like I mentioned before in the beginning, is this right here. This guy's probably slowly draining. Because we only can get 5,000 RF a tick from here, but I think the system uses more now that it's running, even though it looks like it can keep up. Max output 5,112. This is an elite. Is this all the elite can do? Energy. Capacity. Oh, that's creative. 51.2. This one has 12.8. It doesn't tell us anything about the max input-output. Well, it shows 5,112. So then actually this isn't really a bottleneck, because if it can only give out 5,112, I don't know if that is per side. So 5,000 up here and 5,000 over there. I'm not sure. But everything seems to be keeping up. Did the lead go yet? Yes. So the lead should be in here. Yep, there we go. Awesome. That's it for today, guys. Next time, we're probably going to get started with blood magic. And also, one of these upcoming episodes, I would like to play around with the Psy armor. Because when we killed the Ender Dragon, I got 2 stacks of ivory and 2 stacks of ebony, and we have not used them. And for the time being, I didn't know where to put these, so I just put them in here for right now. What do I have in here? Oh, more chisel stuff. Okay. Chisel bits. And also, I've been keeping up on the tree breeding. It's currently turned off. I made 2 apiaries and then just set them up for cycling. Got tons of bees, which I don't care about. I just want the different trees. Let's see if there's anything mutated on here. There's one. I think this is one. Yeah, there's lots of mutations going on here. I'm going to have to harvest that. Because I would like to, we might do that on the live stream. Here's, for example, one of these. What is this called again? Limewood. I'd like to dress up these hills out here. They're too naked for my taste. And I also got to figure out what I actually want to do in here. You know, I don't just want this huge flower mess. Oh yeah, and I never showed you this. Because I was playing around with the RF Tools controls a lot. You need a lot of... for these things right here, you need a lot of green dye. So I just set up a simple vanilla, well, almost vanilla, besides the timer over here. Cactus farm, so how much do I have now? Ooh, 90 stacks. I can probably get rid of this. I'll never need 90 stacks of cactus, but it doesn't hurt to have it running. Anyways, guys, that is it for today. Let me know how you like the new setup now, and especially the RF Tool screens. I'd really like to hear back, because I might use this more often. I think this is a really great way of labeling things. Like if we get something else in the future, another mod that I need to process its ore from, you know, I know, for example, alright, I just can double it, I gotta send it to yellow. I go down there and I add yellow. Like just recently, we added extreme reactors that gives you the yellow, right? You know, I would just have to add that, because if it doesn't, if it doesn't have anything assigned now with this new setup, because we don't have a default, it will sit in here. Don't forget that, because we're not defaulting anything else. So this would slowly fill up, and I come down here every few days and check if everything is in order. And then I would notice there's a new ore that this ore miner can figure out getting. And in the future, I was thinking of also replacing this resource miner over here, probably with another ore miner, just for fun. Because I don't know what I need all this stuff for this guy's given me. We don't really have that much hardened clay, but over 15 stacks of each now, which is really cool. And then these we don't get. You look at this granite, 233 stacks. I don't need all of this. Who needs 239 stacks of netherrack? Nobody. Anyways, guys, that is it for today, and I'll catch you in the next one when we get started with something new. Like I said, most likely blood magic. And hope you enjoyed it. Ooh, look at me, I look so smart. Take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.